So, what do you think? Is the oil market rigged? When the markets, any markets really, equities, commodities, bonds, but when they go on some wilder than usual fluctuations, we start hearing innuendos or flat out loud accusations about the markets being rigged. The presence of some dark lords manipulating things in the background, and the poor members of the public being smashed around by tsunami waves hitting from all directions. Is this something we should be concerned about? Let's look briefly at what is happening, then we'll draw some pragmatic conclusions. You may be surprised. News came out in force last week on the fast and violent fall of crude oil. In these last 4 months, crude oil lost about 2/3, almost 70% in the markets across the world. The tone of the comments goes from deep gloom to cheer, depending on where the writer is sitting, or the industry rep, or consumer media, or anything in between. But look back at early 2004, when crude oil took off at an incredible slope in the same price charts, and in the next 4 years almost quadrupled up to over $147 a barrel. So it is only up to a few months ago that the same media, now so flabbergasted by the current low prices, that same media was then quite emphatic in pounding on the oblivious consumer's mind, pounding that oil is a consumable asset. Once it's gone, it's gone. And they were saying that the inventories were then going down so rapidly it caused prices to go up so unbelievably fast. So it was the public's fault if things were so bad. Of course, back then, the public, those crazy consumers, were widely buying huge SUVs and roaming all too freely the highway to the mall in a happily overspending mode, fueled by very generous mortgage and equity lenders, whom, as you know, do have a part in this saga too. But now, all of a sudden, this last short few months brought us a very severe crisis. Recession is now officially declared. The financial sector and the automobile industry are at the same time exposed in their unspeakable and tragic greed, but also they are at the receiving end of enormous rescue plans in the trillions of dollars that the dear-eyed public is going to pay for with their tax money. On top of all this, crude oil has fallen from the price highs it enjoyed only in July 2008, and many commentators are now very worried. And what do these commentators say is the cause of this fall? Well, it is market demand falling that is causing all this. And the demand is down because we are in a recession and people don't buy gas anymore. Once again, it is the public's fault if things are so bad. Now, a few small questions here. The price of crude oil went down almost 70% from its highs in about 4 months, and the official reason is lower demand. Are the consumers now all using bicycles to go around? The trucks mount sails on their roofs and use wind power to cruise the interstates. Are we all burning wood to keep warm on Christmas night? We think not. So this huge price drop seems, let's say, a bit oversized. Although it did come, well, just at the right time to give some slack to the battered consumer, and the banks and the automobile makers, etc. And yes, one could start wondering if there is any additional force behind all these changes. We are not even trying to comment on that though. So should the consumer be really worried about these dark forces that seem to be as hidden and undetectable as the dark matter in outer space? We don't think so, because today it is possible to follow what is happening in the markets, make educated guesses. Actually, better than that, one can define high probability estimates on the ongoing trends and correct accordingly one's exposure to the market. A very strong signal alerting of the impending downturn in crude oil was available by the end of July. The market went down without a break since, and the informed investor was able to benefit from it using very approachable and non-threatening tools such as stocks and ETFs. Dark powers may or may not be in motion around us, but we don't need to be squashed by any of this. A bit of work can actually give you full capability to profit from it all. This is what we think about this and similar crises in the markets, and how we not only survive them, but also benefit from them. If you enjoyed this report, please share it with all your friends, and do come visit us at OUTPACEsys.com. We see you in the market. Happy trading!